Welcome back to Straight Facts. It's Friday. Premier League football is back with us tonight. As things go, it's an action-packed week, really, with European football. All the big boys in action. Big Ange losing. And now some hugely significant games this weekend with Arsenal playing West Ham, who they've lost to twice on the bounce at the Emirates. They have a chance to go top. Chelsea hosting Liverpool in a game which depends what platform you listen to. Some think Chelsea are going to get the win. Others think Liverpool. There's a real dichotomy there. We're jumping into it in more detail. And could this or will this be the last weekend for Ruben Amorim, who is still saying that his system is not the problem? We're going to delve into that and have a conversation. Big Ange in trouble as well, as his own fans, for the first time, I think, in Premier League history, chanted, "You're getting sacked in the morning." I've never heard that before. But a lot of us predicted Big Ange not working, an attacking manager with a pragmatic club with a pragmatic squad. Who foresaw this happening? Yeah, we all did. We all did. But look, loads to jump into, loads to talk about today. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in across multiple platforms. If you're watching on X, give us a retweet right now, or whatever you call it. I don't know, repost, I think they call it now. Give it a like as well. If you want to come and join us on YouTube, the link is in the Twitter post as well, so you can come and join us here. If you're watching on YouTube, don't get done by people on X. You better make sure you get more likes than they do. You can't be getting done by the X people. But gents, how are we both? We're both good and well?
Yeah, man. Good. This week's flown by for me. I can't lie. It's flown by for me, man. So tomorrow, boy, I better be seeing 3 points. I'm going to be at the game, Terry. You know what I'm saying? So Don't expect me on the match reaction, mate. Don't expect me on the match reaction, man.
Mate, you ain't turned up for a match reaction for about 5 months. I no longer expect you on any of them, to be honest with you. So that's
because I'm usually at the games.
No, I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. We're gonna get into that. It's gonna be an interesting one later, and I said it yesterday, so I'm not revealing anything too crazy. I'm back in Chelsea. I think Chelsea are actually gonna win the game, even though I think the criticism of Liverpool is so far over the top. It's unfucking believable. I do think Chelsea are gonna win this game, but we'll talk about that later. We're gonna talk Arsenal. Will they go top this weekend? I wanted to start with Manchester United, though, and Amorim's comments today. And I'll read what he said. I'm going to read out what he said verbatim here. He said that, and I quote, on talking about the system, he says it was disjointed against Brentford, but you cannot say one thing doesn't work when it works one weekend, then things work one day, and then the other day they don't work. It is something about the way we do the same things. We need to do the same things in the same way, every way, and we are not doing it the same every day. So essentially, sometimes we follow the system properly, sometimes we don't follow the system properly. Some of you guys have a different opinion, and that is okay. He goes on to state that he said, the way we concede goals, create chances, that is nothing to do with the system. That is my opinion. That has nothing to do with the system. That is my opinion. So even when we do good things, he's saying it's not the system. I'm not saying this team will do better in a different system. That's not my point. My point is, if you look at the games we didn't win, the most important thing when I watch the games is not we lose because of the system. That's my opinion. Then people have different opinions. That's okay. Essentially, it's hard it's really bad when you listen to it. It makes more sense than reading it because the way he speaks. But essentially, he's saying the system ain't the problem, the players are. Right? That's what I'm hearing in this. My system isn't the problem, the players are here. He said maybe they'll work better in a different system, but I think it's about their application. Some weeks the system looks really good and we win games, or we should win games. Brentford was very different because we were absolutely awful. What do you make of this, Staffy? Because there's a lot of people hoping that this weekend he tries something different. He moves a few positions around slightly. Doesn't read like he's going to do that. It reads more he's doubling down and saying, my system is not the problem. I essentially just don't have the players to play it consistently. Thoughts on Amorim's press conference and the points made?
Shout out to Lionel Messi. When the day of the World Cup final, he phoned up his grandma and he said, "It might be today, Grandma. It might be tomorrow, guys. Finally, I'm so sick and tired of this guy. I don't want to hear him speak no more. I didn't even pay attention to. I mean, I heard what you said, but I didn't pay attention to what he said earlier. I usually go in and I watch his press conferences. I read the posts and comments and everything on X. I just tuned out. I don't care what he says anymore. Even he's actually not. I don't think he's actually wrong with some of the things that he said. I do agree with him when he says the system and the player application, but it's just, what is the word system? We need to identify what the word system means in his case, at least. And I feel like system doesn't just mean positioning on the pitch, formation, and what I need certain players to do. I feel like the personnel that you use in systems is probably just, arguably is as important as any formation system. And I do agree with him when he says probably the system would be better with certain players. That is probably true. Equally, you do know you basically put certain players in these situations and you put them in these positions. And when they don't give you what you expect them to apply, that is low-key a flaw on you and on the system. I can't go across every player and blame them when I clearly know, I think the average fan would know some of these players that you're trying to do certain things wouldn't work. And this is what I keep saying about Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim goes by that analogy that, like, you can't judge a fish's ability to climb a tree. I think Ruben Amorim just persists until he teaches that fish how to climb a tree. Reality is the fish is never going to climb that tree. The fish can try 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. That fish ain't never climbing a tree. If you want someone to climb a tree, probably go get a monkey or something. Or just tell that fish to swim. He doesn't do that. He can defend the system all he wants. I don't care when your system is putting your number one creator in defensive positions, and then people are wondering why he's not really positionally disciplined and a great defender when it's putting players like Patrick Dorgo as the highest up the pitch, expecting the most attacking returns from them when he's not really the most attacking player. Arguably, he'd be a very decent left back. These are just two examples of what I've seen over time and time again with a lot of these players. Is the system completely crap? I'll probably say no, because I did see it work in Portugal. So you can always reference a time where it worked and maybe argue maybe there's a ceiling to it, which is my argument. There's a ceiling to where and how far the system can go, especially when you go from a non-top 5 league to a top 5 league. It doesn't change the fact that he's been here for almost a year now. We're October, so it's been 11 months. And it's just some of the worst football and the worst stats and the worst everything that we have seen. Records are getting broken left and right. The other day, I found another stat that I didn't even know. Did you guys know the last time we won a game without the opposition giving us a penalty or a red card was against Fulham last year, where you can kind of argue that Martinez shot was an own goal, the one that it was like the last minute he shot it from outside the box.
I think we had one game after that as well, Leicester. I think Leicester, when we beat them 3-0. I'm not sure if we got a penalty or
Leicester needs to open their legs.
I can't remember, but either way, it just shows you how far back both of us are going. This is just one stat compared to like
even that game against Fulham, Staffy. Remember how bad that game was, bro? And then
Martinez. It was an awful game. It was an awful game. Yeah.
It was horrible. It had the lowest XG in the Premier League in the last 2 seasons between all teams. It just shows you how bad it is.
I think one thing about these conversations that needs to happen is people need to, because my view on systems now, and the reason why I'm coming to this conclusion is listening to what Oliver Glasner said, because Oliver Glasner said the system, it must fit the players. He said there's too much discussion about systems. The system is not important. Habits are important. And I do think there is so I've had to address something we all learn things. And when you learn things, you change things. So I've said for a while, I don't want a manager to adapt to the players. And what I meant by that after Ten Hag was I don't want you dropping your style. I don't want you dropping your principles of football, in the sense of, if you want to be a possession-based team, if you want to be a team that presses, if you want to be a counter-attacker, if you want your players on certain diets, going to bed at certain times, wearing suits to games, right across that spectrum, don't ever adapt any of that. You push that. The formation, stroke the system, the structure, how it visually looks on the pitch, that should be agile, depending upon people working. Because I think every system in the world has every system, not style, in the world, and style, everything's got a hole in it. And sometimes you've got to, it can work brilliantly for a month, it can work brilliantly for a year, but then a few teams might change something. Galatasaray and Crystal Palace did it perfectly to Liverpool. Let's just sit in a bit of a mid-block. It's a little risky because if they get the ball over the top, they might be in. You saw it happen to Galatasaray. But if we win that ball back in the middle with the way their fullbacks push forward, We're not countering from the edge of our own box. We're countering from the halfway line, and they've got all this spacing that isolates their centre backs. Now it's on Arnie's slot to make some adjustments to fix that because people have found a flaw. That, for me, is what I look at it from a system point of view. I don't expect Amorim to drop his style or not want to play the way he plays, but clearly this squad can't play 3-4-3. It just can't. And I also say this to people that want Oliver Glasner. If you expect us in a 3-4-3 to work out how good Palace do, you're a mug. And you're a mug because they have so much power and speed in that team. We can't play like Palace. We just can't. That's why Palace, when they play us, it feels like they always blub us away.
Yeah, but playing like Palace is a lot more simplistic, Terry. Like, I get what you mean. But I think the 3-4-3, it's all about the application of the manager. He's talking about the players. I'm talking about the manager as well. I've seen Antonio Conte come in and he plays 3 in the back. And he used Victor Moses. Was it Conte? Yeah, it was Conte with Victor Moses. I saw Victor Moses as right wing back, and he looked half decent. And he wasn't even a great player for Chelsea up until that point. There's managers that come in, bro. He's running a midfield of what's his name? What's his first name? Matt Hughes. I forgot his first name. Hughes and basically and Wharton. That's not a midfield that you look at and you're like, oh, they're so dynamic and this and that, but it works. He applicates it in a way where it's like, you know what? It's pretty simple. The build-up you can see in the eye. The line is not too high. It's not all just about press, and there's no build-up in it. Will Hughes, thank you, chat. I forgot his name. I don't know why. You look at that, and you look at how Ruben Amorim applies his. I hate the way Ruben Amorim plays football. It's just, I don't think it works for most people. And you were just talking about system-fitting players. I respect managers that have systems that not everyone is going to fit in, and it's fine to get rid of. Pep Guardiola, the most notable one that we can talk about, when he came into the Premier League, he took over a team that won the Premier League 2 seasons prior, and he started getting rid of some players that he knew wouldn't work for him. He started getting rid of the fullbacks, he got rid of the goalkeeper. But what was he doing is that he was still accommodating his best players. You saw David Silva getting the best football under him. You saw Kevin De Bruyne getting the best football under him. When Ruben Amorim comes in, and I think you can argue who's United's best player. I think the majority would say Bruno Fernandes. I don't need to like Bruno Fernandes to look at him and say, you're not even getting the best out of him. If Bruno Fernandes is at least ripping it, and I'm seeing 20 goals, 20 assists in all comps, and the team maybe struggling in other aspects, I'll be like, well, he's at least doing the most important thing, which is getting the best out of his players. If you think Bruno is our best player, he's not getting the best out of him. If you think Kameno is our best player, he's not getting the best out of him. If you think Ahmed is our best player, he's not getting the best out of him. Regardless of who you think our best player is, we can all agree that these players are not getting to that. So what is the point of talking about a system and a style when it doesn't even cater to anyone? It has to at least cater to a couple players where I could say, this is the spine of it. Let's replace the rest. So far, I don't think anyone is starving. Not the back line, not the midfield, and not the front line. So we can talk about systems all we want. He just needs to admit that his system is getting the best out of no one. Absolutely zero.
I agree. Is getting the best out of people. This is the only area that I push back on. It's nothing to do with Amorim. I don't disagree with anything that's been said about him. If I'm being honest, I disagree with him. I think that his system, is in the structure of the team, plays a little issue. If he moved a couple of players around and changed the formation slightly, I think we could yield better results. I think if we put Cunha and Mbeumo in the wider areas, as an example, if we pack the midfield with a little bit more, then I'd at least like to experiment. I think the win percentage could go up, because although I think we've got an average squad, I don't think we're I don't think we're mid of the bottom half table. I think the squad is better than that. So I think those improvements can be made. What I will say, and it's a stat that I went and sourced and looked at, since the last time Man United fans felt hope, and the last time we kind of felt hope, I went back and I was looking at match reactions and looking at results. We won 4 games on the bounce in February 2024. And we played quite well against Wolves, but we threw it away. And then Manu scored that brilliant goal. This is also when Højlund was on that run of games where he was scoring. And I went back and I just looked at some of our match reactions. I went and looked at the United stands, and I went and looked at fan cams that the United View did. And there was this, okay, we've been struggling, but it feels like we're finding our feet and our strikers scoring. I use that as a marker because it feels like the last time United fans actually felt some genuine hope, because they were seeing results and some good performances. Since that point, it was a 9.5-month period from that final win to Amorim came in. In that period of time, we only won 2 games on the bounce once in that stretch of games, and that goes over, I think it was about 35 games played. The win percentage in that 9 months was lower than Ruben Amorim's win percentage is now. And the reason why I bring that up is because I think the one thing I want to keep pushing into Man United fans' heads, and Mo called me out for this the other day, and it was quite funny. He said, but it's boring what you're doing, Terry. Nobody wants to hear this. They want to hear the Amorim inners and the Amorim outers fight one another. And I agree. I saw Andy Goldstein, who's an outer, because he just speaks absolute bollocks, and an inner who spoke absolute nonsense. You just got to give him time. The reason we're struggling, none of it's his fault. Fucking moron as well. Arguing with it. You remember that show when we were kids? You two might have been a bit too young. It was called Bum Fights. These guys went around with a camcorder paying like homeless people to fight each other. They filmed it and put it on the internet. It was called Bum Fights. Could never make it nowadays, but it was a genuine TV show called Bum Fights. And these guys, I don't know what, I think MUTV used to air it, like just literally going up to real homeless people and saying there's $100 each, fight each other. That's what it feels like when I listen to inners and outers fight one another. It's crazy. It isn't entertaining, but we have to temper the fact that I believe a better and more competent coach could improve this slump that we've been on for 18 months. What I look at Ruben Amorim as, he hasn't improved us one iota from that 9-month slump that we were already in that was awful. And the reason why I think that's significant is that there should be a jump. I think this squad could win 50% of its games. I think this squad could win 55% of its games. I think that's really plausible, but there is still an upper ceiling. And the reason why I warn people of this is I agree with everything Staffy said 2 weeks ago. I just wouldn't call it fixed, but I agree with the first thing we should focus on. I've said this on a few shows this week. I've been saying it loudly on the United stand because I want to push this message. First thing we should focus on is making ourselves a more competent team that are harder to beat without losing sight that there are multiple stages and steps to go up. Because I'm already seeing Tottenham fans, as a case in point, start turning on Frank, start losing their minds because they have a good start. Oh, we're third. Oh, we're second. Oh, we actually were so much better. I knew we were better than 17th, but I didn't think we were this much better. And then a reality check happens because that squad is good, but it isn't in the top 3, top 4, top 5, maybe not even the top 6 squads in the league. You start leveling out and everyone turns on the manager. And I don't think Thomas Frank is overly responsible for the last couple of games. They need to improve their squad. And that's my only thing I want to make sure I keep pushing out. But for me, I'm surprised he's still here. I don't know what Ineos are waiting for. And there is talk today that even if we lose at home to Sunderland, a newly promoted team, there will not be, quote unquote, a knee-jerk reaction and him moved on, which means he'll be in charge after the international break away at Anfield, which, again, that game gives me the willies because of what can happen, because of the beatings we've taken there in recent years. And I feel like if you go there with a new manager, yes, the new manager can start on a loss, but I think it almost, and rivals will hate me saying this, and I hope Staffy agrees with me as a United fan or sees it how I see it. If a new manager comes in, no matter who it is, you kind of go into that first game away at Liverpool and it's almost like this free hit where it doesn't really matter if you don't win. I don't think fans are going to be losing their minds because it's a new manager. They're going to give you a little bit of time and everything else, but you might get surprised. You might get a decent result and it increases things. But that's my biggest takeaway this week is that they're now. It's a bit weird that Fabrizio said what he said today, that there's United have no plans to remove him if he loses this weekend. Yet Fabrizio spent 2 weeks saying that United are drawing up contingency plans and putting lists together for managers. I always find that a bit of a conflict in what he's saying. But I hope. How do you think we'll get on tomorrow, Staffy? Maybe more importantly than debating that, do you think United will beat Sunderland tomorrow?
The only 2 times I predicted United lost, they won. Every time I predicted a win, we lost or drew. So clearly, I'm the jinx.
No, same for me.
Every time. I predicted 2 losses so far. They ended up being the only 2 wins. I don't know. I'll be honest, bro. I couldn't care less. I don't want to watch us lose. I don't want to have that feeling where one more loss until we get rid of him. But I'll be honest, man. It's just like a win-win at this point. I like these players. I don't want us to lose on the pitch for my desire of this manager to leave because I think we just hit a dead end with him. But it's a win-win, bro. It's either we win the game and we just don't get bullied for the rest of the weekend by our rivals, or he loses and it's probably just one step closer to him getting sacked. I know this sounds basic. I generally have no prediction. I don't know. We could go anywhere from winning the game and having a game like where we probably should have scored a lot and win it late, or we can go anywhere from, I don't know, like we could probably lose like 2-3-1, horrible performance. It's one of those, like I've seen too many performances where the fans leave early, it starts raining, and it's just like, I feel like I've seen this scenario way too many times, but I don't know. I generally have no idea.
I feel very similar. I like this comment that says it's crazy that if true, how is it a knee-jerk reaction to sack him if the manager has 34 points out of 33 games? Listen, I agree with you, and I'm only reading what the media is saying. I think it's a crazy take. It wouldn't be a knee-jerk reaction, and this is the issue that I have. I saw Leah's post something where he said it's not. I know some people want to break the cycle of sacking managers over the last 13 years. But there has to be improvement and there has to be growth. It's one of these things where I was very willing. I stand by what I stand by what I did. It was just the way I am as a person. I was willing to give it. Let's say you guys came on the first Friday show. Okay, Staffy, first straight facts. Say it was dead. Barely anyone watched. No interactions. Don't like it, Terry. I don't typically just go, okay, we won't do it again. I like to give things time. I actually, especially if I rate somebody or if I think there is the possibility of improvement. And Amorim did very, very well at Sporting. So I was very willing to give him a preseason, let him have new players, see how things move forward. I said after the Grimsby game, I'd lost a lot of faith. Chelsea, look, I was really happy with the Chelsea win. But what I caveated that with, not on the night, because I like to celebrate a win in isolation, is you've now got to get your team galvanized and go into the next match. And the reason the Brentford game hurt so much is barring Grimsby.
Back to reality. That's why. Back to reality.
It wasn't even back to reality. What I mean by that is we've had loads of defeats. Even back when Staffy and me were both backing him and we were sharing stats. Oh, the entries into all this. Like me and Staffy both liked him at one point, right? We were.
We don't even do that no more.
No, we don't, right? We don't. But the point is, we had loads of games. West Ham and Wolves at home stand out. City at home. Arsenal at home last year. I won't forget my analysis on those games. I don't believe was wrong. The Arsenal game this season, the Burnley game. I know we threw some goals, but we played well in it. Chances against Fulham. We had chances in those games, and a lot of those matches, I still think we should have won in terms of performance. Against Brentford, we had like nearly 1 XG, but nearly all of that came from those 3 shots from Sesko to score his first goal. We didn't create chances. We only broke the lines once in the whole second half, and that led to the penalty, which Bruno Fernandes missed. So for me, it was beyond back to reality. The reality for me in the last 5-6 months has often been well in the game, had chances, not taken them, conceded scrappy goals and lost, which was frustrating. This was just an absolutely horrendous performance in every single level. And a few Reds kind of came at me for that and said, no, this is how all the performances have been. And I'll always push back and say, listen, you may have viewed it that way. I didn't, but it just took out all my lasting hope. And I want to beat Sunderland tomorrow because I never want to see Man United lose. But I do wonder what a win does for us more than a loss. I don't understand what a win does. I don't want this manager living on this. If he's 1 win away from being sacked all the time, or a defeat or 2 away, how do you ever progress in an environment like that? Imagine your boss says to you every day, Don, you're 1 mistake away from losing your job. You could never relax and do a good job. You can't do it. And that's not me defending Amorim before the Amorim outers, because they are slow of mind. They're amoebas. Like before they lose their heads. It's not defending Amorim. I'm looking at the football club. And a lot of my thinking is what's best for Man United. This 2 games to save yourself, 3 games to save yourself. We'll see after the Liverpool match. Nonsense. What are we doing? That says you don't want someone. Move them on.
Terry, man, that's why you should have been, bro. You should have been praying that I beat you. You know what I'm saying? Big balls on that as well, blood. Yeah, you should have been praying that when I came to Old Trafford, I won that game. Because last week, if you had lost and you had lost to us the week before, you might have been gone. You know, because when you look at the context of last weekend, bro, you're looking at a Brentford team who you've took their best player. You know what I'm saying? You've got a set piece coach who is now a manager. You know, who seems to actually has implemented a style of play.
And
yeah, whatever people think of Brentford's style of play, the Froes, Coyote, and these guys, bro, those guys are industrious. What works for them is what works for them. You know what I'm saying? And I saw those long throws against Brentford, and we managed to hold out until the end of the game. You know what I mean? And you're looking at how, you know, some of the defending, just again, how you're playing. United, bro, the way he sets you guys up, it doesn't allow your team to play well, Terry. And that's why I'm even looking forward to the game against Sunderland, right? Because I can see them beating you, and it wouldn't be a surprise. And the simple reason why is because they are more of a team than you. You know, when I've been watching Sunderland this season, like Xhaka and these guys, they look all right. They look like they can actually play. You know, every time the teams against United, they look like they can play. And that's why it's always frustrating for me as a Chelsea fan. Every time we come to Old Trafford, it's literally, it's a thing. We drop down to your level because you're just not a good team. You know, you haven't had managers that have been setting you up. You know what I'm saying, bruv? You're not a good team. You're not a good team, man. It's facts.
I love it. So what you're saying is, so the reason you're bad at Old Trafford is because it's like when someone yawns, it makes you yawn. It's not about your manager or your players having stinkers. It's about us making you bad.
Yeah, man, 100%, bro. I don't know what it is about that place. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about that place, bro. Every single time we come there, it's like we forget how to play football. We just look at you lot and
it's been raining. It's been raining, Robbie. It's been raining.
You infect us all the time. You know what I mean? So, boy, you're just gonna delay the inevitable, innit? You know what I mean? I don't see you lot beating Sunderland. At most, maybe a draw. But again, everyone right now up against United, bro. They just better than you. You know, you've got Brighton coming up soon as well. You hate those guys. You know, João Pedro's not there anymore, but they've got Minte. Minte's been cooking right now. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. What I will say about this season, though, and this will be an interesting one against, we have been the better team in all our home games this year. We played very well against Arsenal, couldn't score. Barring, I mean, we should have been 3 or 4 up against Burnley in the first half. We conceded a couple of sloppy goals. That's always there with this team at the minute. Our goal conceding rate is awful. The Chelsea game you can't judge, but the opening 5 minutes, when you say we always play bad, we played very, very well, smashed you to pieces, made you panic. You got a man sent off. We had 3 chances to score in the opening 5 minutes, gilt-edged chances. Your manager was so shook that he took your whole front line off because he was drugged. He was Twitter painted. He didn't know what to do. He
apologized for that. He apologized.
Yeah, you got to, because it was like, you ever seen them boxers? You know when they get punched and they get knocked out, but they lay on the floor unconscious, still boxing. That was what. This is the embarrassing thing for you as a Chelsea fan. This manager and team that you're slagging off, they sparks you unconscious inside the opening 5 minutes. It's crazy.
Yep.
That's why I'm intrigued to see this game. Because if we are more like the Burnley, more like the Arsenal Chelsea game in terms of intensity and performance, and we win, it creates another conversation around, well, why can't we replicate that energy, that performance away from home? Again, and that might come down to systematic elements. And speak about our famous manager of all time, Fergie would often employ slightly different tactics away from home. He'd use different personnel away from home. And it feeds into something I've always believed in the game. When people go, what's your strongest team? My response has always been a question, which is, who am I playing and where? Because the strongest team for away at Liverpool is different from my strongest team at home to a Burnley. And I truly believe that, especially if you're having to rotate for European football. This strongest team thing, I need to understand the context of the question always, because that's how league seasons are. So it's going to be an interesting one. This year from English Talent says Sunderland are favourites. They bought 15 players, not free. I mean, if you see them as favourites, fair enough. I mean, the bookmakers won't have them as favourites. Then no matter how shit United get, we never get good odds on Man United winning games. It's very, very frustrating. I wish we did. Amorim Sporting had 30% possession against Conte's Spurs. Yes. What is your point? You need to give me a point. He's Sporting team played transitional football and stuff quite a lot. We all know that, my friend. We all watched the game against City as well. Ten Hag dropped his style. United fans just made an idea about him because he's bald and Dutch. Ten Hag's best work at Ajax was transitional football, like he's first at United. Again, what games were you watching to say it was transitional football? Because I watched a lot of these games, even Champions League games, where some of that passing and some of that movement from Ajax was beautiful football. All teams have a transitional element to their game, and often in the Champions League run they were in, they played more transitional because there was teams that had bigger and better squads than them, and that's why it was great what he did. Can't be taken away. Amorim, the only manager to hide behind systems and not him as a coach. Imagine Frank de Boer or Russell Martin being told to change instead of them being shit. Well, I think it depends on how people view things. I don't know what Frank de Boer or Russell Martin did before they arrived in England. Did they take over teams that hadn't dominated for years in the country and made them dominate? Maybe their view would be different if they'd done that before and had a better CV. I don't know the answer. You know, would Mikel Arteta have been criticised as much as he has been if before coming to Arsenal he'd been in Portugal or France and won 2 or 3 league titles? Probably not, right? He might have been given a bit more leeway. So you have to do, if you're going to do that, I get your point, but I think there's a difference in the circumstance. You know, I don't remember. Do you boys remember Ronald de Boer beating a team as good as Pep's 4-1 in the Champions League? Like, genuine question. It's not even like catch me out. Like, so I think that's why there's a different conversation. Plus, those guys, who are they managing? This is the man. There's always going to be more narratives when you're managing a Chelsea, a Man United, a Liverpool. You can't compare it to Crystal Palace with respect. Amorim is just trying to prove Darwin's theory of natural selection by not adapting. A man of science. I like that.
Insanity, more like insanity, bro.
Uniting, winning comfortably, it's a circle of life. But this is a question I've got for you, Staffy, just to understand where you're at with these things. Say we did win really well. Say we played really well like we did against Burnley. We score 3 goals, but we defend well. Like, how do you think you'll feel? Do you have any idea how you'd feel after that as a football fan, a United fan?
I'll just be happy that I'm not going to get bullied, bro. That's all it is, bro. At this point, my mental health matters more. Every time, bro, I'm telling you, every time I go to the hookah lounge in my hometown, I just get bullied, bro. They always make fun of me, bro. I'm tired of getting made fun of. Look the other way. I'm like, just don't speak to me. Like, you think I'm joking, but it's actually the first thing they said. They don't even say hi to me. They say, "What happened to United?" Because they know, like, I'm about to go on a rant. So I'm like, yo, just talk about anything else, bro. Like, leave me alone. I'm actually tired of getting bullied because of this team. So I don't know. I generally don't know how I would react. I'd be annoyed that we played good and, like, where was this the whole time? But I'll also know, like, yeah, it's probably like a one-time thing, bro. Like, it's like a one-night stand. It's not gonna happen again. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it feels at United, bro.
I hear. I'm actually really happy though that you get to go out in the States and you get to go somewhere and people ask you questions like, "What happened to United?"
Because they know I'm a United fan. I should have never told them, bro.
What I mean by that,
for years, and I hate it, bro.
What I mean by that, they've got a lot of other friends across America, and depending on where, a lot of them are like, "I love it when I'm in England because everyone talks football." Where he goes, "Where I go to work, I go out, I see family." And
no, because they're Arabs. That's why they're not really Americans. Like a couple of them are Moroccan, a couple Egyptians. They all know I'm a United fan because I've been watching, like, games there for years. I used to play football with a lot of them, so I used to go in my United jersey. So they've known me for over a decade. So they see me now, and they just know my team is no longer as good as it was, and they bully me, bro. And I'm tired of it. I actually am tired of it. I'm not kidding with you. Some people walk in, and I just look the other way. I just hide my face.
Yeah.
One of my friends, bro, who's there, his uncle's a Chelsea season ticket holder. And he went to England. He was like, I'm going to go watch Chelsea. He didn't even say United. He's like, I'm going to go watch Chelsea. And I'm like, bro, this is what we become, bro. This is what we become. He was never a Chelsea fan, but he went to watch 2 Chelsea games because he took his uncle's season ticket.
Filth. That is filth, actually. What is he doing? That is filth. He's a United fan. He went to watch another club.
No, well, he's a Barca fan, but I'm just saying, like, he doesn't even care for United like that anymore. He used to like United. He just doesn't anymore.
Credit to Maresca for his comments today. Ari Jota today. People forget there are very young men trying to deal with a loss. They are still very raw. Yeah, big up to Maresca. I didn't hear that comment, but fair play to him for speaking on that. Joshua Jack here says, you said the last one was March 2024, right? Now, the last back-to-back win, we did it once after that really good run in February 2024, and it was the last 2 games of the season. And you are right when you follow up here. It's when we pack the midfield. I remember me and Staffy talking about this on this show at the time. All season, we were like, can we just have a run of games where Amrabat is played as DM and we pack the midfield? And we did it in the last 2 or 3 games of the season. We did very well against Arsenal and narrowly lost. We then beat Newcastle and beat Brighton of all teams away on the final day of the season.
City in the final.
And then beat City. And then what we then went and did is we had a whole preseason, money spent at the beginning of the season, and then he just left his midfield open again, and we got absolutely ripped apart, and literally the same winning record and points as Amorim so far this season last year. So it's one of those things where part of it is personnel, but then it's adapting to what you've got without dropping your principles and your style. And I just think that I do look at the way we're running the club as well. And this is one of the reasons I'm really questioning Ineos, because this is where I feel sporting directors and people running the club are meant to have an influence. I don't expect them picking the fucking team or formation per se, but they need to be having a word in his shell. Because again, if I'm running a business, I do run businesses. If I can see something KJ is doing wrong and it goes wrong every time, I'm not just going to let him keep doing it wrong. There has to be...
You have to ask them, man. Like, what's your full process behind that, by the way? What's your full process behind that? And let him answer. Let him answer. I'll tell you everything.
It sounds like your boss has said that to you a few times. Like, Don, what's your process?
You know, he used to ask me that. You know, when I first started my driving lessons, yeah? You know, when you fuck up. And the guy was, I remember his name, Keith. Keith will be like, what was your thought process when you did that? And I'm just like, I don't even know, Keith. I don't know why I did that. I'm telling you, that's how you got to ask, bro.
The clock will just reset if we win. It's inevitable. Do you know when I would be more impressed with him? Genuinely, where I would be impressed is if we won and won well, but then we still sacked him. Exactly. That would make me think, well, they've got... That makes me believe there is more of a plan and a standard than if it's, well, he won, so he stays for another week. I hate that.
You know what it feels like there, and this you're absolutely right, and I have zero confidence. It's just like it's trauma at this point. I have zero confidence in decision makers. Imagine you make a decision that you and your partner are like, listen, it's not working out. I need to be honest with her. I need to break up with her and tell her, listen, we're better off just separating our own ways. And the day you try to meet up with her to tell her that, she comes in with like, I don't know, like, hey, look, I made you lunch. Oh, hey, look, I got you this, and like. You got sucked in to the gift that she bought you or the nice deed that she did for you, and it just makes you rethink. I was like, oh shit, should I actually be doing it? It makes you forget everything. And that's the 3 points. I'm worried that the 3 points, it just like, I wouldn't say manipulates people, but like it kind of distracts people from the fact that, yeah, it is 3 points, but as the Superchat said, it kind of resets the clock. Tomorrow we're going to wake up and we're going to have the same issues again. That is the fear that I have from winning.
I went on holiday as a young man, and at the time I was just dating a girl. We got on fine, but I didn't want to be with her anymore. I didn't really, when I was younger, like between the age of about 16 and my early mid-20s, I didn't really like being in relationships. I just felt I wanted to be young, free, and single. And I don't know, we'd been together like 7 or 8 months, and she's like, do you want to go on holiday? And I said, yeah. And I didn't really want to go, and I didn't want to be with her anymore. But we paid for the holiday. I said, I'm going to do the holiday. I didn't want to ruin a holiday. So I went out there. And I remember the first night we were there, we went out and we ended up, we were in Turkey in Marmaris, and we were on this lovely hotel that's on the beach. And we walked for a little walk. There's all these lovely bars on the beach, went in one, started drinking, dancing, we met this other group of like people out there, had a laugh with them. And I remember, I don't quite remember what I said, but I was like, oh, I know we've had our struggles, but I like being with you, love being with you, whatever it is that I said. And then I woke up in the morning when all that buzz was gone and the alcohol had worn off, and I was like, oh, why did I say that for? Because now now it's like I've bullshitted, and I'm gonna have to like take that back at some point, and I hated it. And yeah, that's how I'm gonna feel. But that was me. That was 18-year-old, 19-year-old Terry, like not mature. These are grown men running a football club. Don't be doing that to us. Don't be making that mistake. One game, take it from
time. Yeah, no. From the moment that your ops want you to be picking up points, that's when you know. That's when you know.
We need Mamba mentality at this club, bro. Mamba mentality. Kobe wasn't celebrating wins until he actually won the whole goddamn thing. I just don't know if Enes is gonna do that. Enes is gonna maybe see the 3 points and be like, oh, maybe something is actually working. No, bro. Job ain't finished. Job is finished when this guy's either gone or we play actually very good football. What's that?
You playing at home?
We are at home.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. It doesn't even matter at this point. It doesn't matter.
Chelsea always giving life to struggling teams. We revived Arteta, gave lifelines to Ten Hag and Amorim. Any out of form players find their groove against us.
Charity FC, yeah.
He's best. Do you know what's mad about it? I remember that Boxing Day game, Arsenal-Chelsea, and I remember I did a great edit for the Fan Channel review show the next day to Feliz Navidad. I remember it because I was so convinced Chelsea were going to win that game. I couldn't believe, and Arsenal were actually.
That's when Saka crossed it in, right? Like he was trying to cross it and it just went in.
Maybe I just remember Arsenal being really good and Chelsea just not being good races.
I think it was a 3-1. Saka was crossing the ball and it went to the back of the net. And people were saying,
Eddie scored in that game. Eddie scored in that game, I swear.
I can't remember. The only thing I remember was the cross that went in. That's it.
I'm pretty sure that's the game where Eddie scored.
Listen, Lou, I would, but I'm a fully functioning, fully grown man. The frontal lobe is there. 18-year-old doesn't want to upset no one. That's different when you're young. Do you know what I mean? It was different, but I'm just saying United shouldn't be making those mistakes. They're not babies. Do me a favor, please, people. Hit the like button. Make sure if you're watching over on X, please give this a retweet. Or if you want to join us on YouTube, you can click on that link. It's in the X post. Come across and join us now and join in with the live chat and the community over here. Obviously, a massive game for you, Don, this weekend. You host Liverpool, who themselves are on a bad run of form and results. There seems to be a lot of panic and frustration out there at this particular moment. in that fan base. That being said, Chelsea fans are not exactly on top of the world, but what's a great opportunity for some remedy? What a great opportunity to go into the international break in a European position, having beaten the league title favourites, the current champions, and an opportunity to sort of put what has been a bad 3 or 4 weeks behind you. How confident are you going into this game? And do you think that you can put more misery upon this Liverpool team?
I'm not confident right now, Terry, you know, and it's not because I'm scared of Liverpool. I'm scared of Chelsea, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared of someone at the back falling asleep. I'm scared of someone slipping and giving a through ball to Salah or to Isak. I'm scared of Sanchez running out and taking someone out. I'm scared. You know what I mean? There's so many things that we've been doing right now where it's like, come on, that's just pathetic. Like, you're in control of the game and then you're just losing your head, you know? But right now I'm seeing Ekatike, he trained today. He'll probably be fit in time to play the game. Alisson's obviously out for the game as well. And this time around they haven't got Kelleher. This Kelleher guy, every time we play Liverpool and it's him, it's always long. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good time to play Liverpool right now, man, because defensively they are very, very shaky at the minute. And to be honest, Terry, it's been a while since I've watched my team with 11 men for a full game in the Prem. You know what I mean? It's like I'm actually looking forward to just a game where I can see 11 men actually doing something. Because recently, Estevao, he's had to come off early against Brighton, a red card. He came off against United, a red card, right? Let's just go back to normality, please, and play our game. I think the likes of Lavia will come into the team who will help us out a little bit more in the middle. Every time he plays against Liverpool, he tends to turn up. I think Badia Shil will probably start the game as well. He adds a lot of balance to our team because he's actually got a left footer at left centre back instead of playing Chalobah there, who finds it really awkward when he's playing at left centre back. You know, and that's how that we're going to win the game for me, bro. I think, you know, right now a lot of people are expecting a lot of goals in the game. Listen, I've been watching this long enough, Terry. Yeah? For me, I don't really. Every time people expect a lot of goals in games, that's when both teams are a bit cautious, and then you see like a 2-1 or, you know, like a 1-1 or something. I'm not expecting a lot of games. I think both teams are gonna be jabbing each other and seeing each other out, you know, because we're not that confident right now, both of us. But we need to be clinical, Terry, man, because we're gonna get chances. But I just don't trust our defense to hold out over 90 minutes against these guys. Isak loves a goal against Chelsea. Verts, you know, you already know with Charity FC, he's on 007 right now, but put money on this guy getting something, whether that's a goal or
008, brother.
Bro, it's not happening. It's not happening, Staffy. I'm telling you now. Next week,
he's on 008, so you can make it 009.
Yeah? Oh, the 008. It'll be a 009 then. He won't be a 009. He's not getting there because he's going to get a return. Something's going to happen in the game, you know. But I just hope that we show a little bit of resilience, a little bit of shame. You know, we win that game. And for example, Arsenal win against West Ham, we'll be 5 points behind first. You know, I'm not really putting ourselves in conversations to be competing because we're not playing like a team that can compete for the league right now. But ultimately, if we put out a balanced lineup, you know, like what we did against Brighton when we played well last week in the first half, I think we've got every chance of winning the game, you know?
Let me ask you a question, though. Do you agree? Because obviously, you know, I know a lot of Chelsea fans. I work with a lot of Chelsea fans. And I'm hearing a lot of what they're saying is they don't believe that, yes, as maybe Maresca should have been backed a little bit better in the summer, especially with the centre-back situation and the options in left wing. There's arguments now that maybe he never wanted Garnacho. It was just more of a club signing. Do you agree with the statement that a lot of people think he's not still getting the best out of the squad, though? Like he's not, not using Mark Guiu. That's an example of him like being so stubborn. Like Tyreek George is in striker is more of a statement that, I never wanted Guiu anyways, so I'm still not going to play. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like 100%.
That. 100%, bro. The key thing here is balance. You guys moaned about Amorim earlier because he's not giving your team balance. And it's the same thing as Maresca. He hasn't been giving our team balance in certain areas. You know, we played against Benfica the other day. We're playing George up top.
By the way, it was one of the worst games I ever watched, by the way. It was horrible.
Bro, it was just dead up there because, again, he's not a striker. The touch it just bounces off of him. He's not physical. You know what I mean? And then, like I've said, the back line, obviously his hands have been a bit tied because Badia Shil hasn't been available, Cole hasn't been available. So he's had to play 2 right footers at the back, right? But I just want to see a balanced lineup up there. You know what I mean? Play a natural 10, play João Pedro up top if you need to. I would even love Guiu to start the game and you play João Pedro behind him. But I don't think he's going to do that. We haven't seen Guiu play a single minute yet. Don't think he's going to come on. He'll probably be Tyreek again off the bench for him. But yeah, he could definitely use the squad a lot better, man. Like we can speak about the bigger problem in terms of the recruitment, no problem. But we can't change that right now. The window's shut. So let's talk about the squad and how it's utilizing it. And for me,
getting the best out of it.
Yeah, he hasn't been getting the best out of it, in my opinion. You know, he needs to go back to basics.
Where do you stand on things? I heard it was a great question from Staffy. My question is, yes, if you win and Arsenal win, you're 5 points off top. I mean, if you win and Arsenal lose, you're still 5 points off top because I think they're on. No, sorry, you'd be
3 points back.
You'd be 3 points off top. But if Liverpool beat you, you're then 10 points off top. So there is this huge sort of jump. It's like essentially like a 6-pointer in that regard, from you being where your target was at the beginning of the season to be in the title race and to try and close that gap on the teams in front of you. And there was a lot of Chelsea fans who pushed back against, for instance, LB, and I pushed back because I didn't think this was true either. But I want to get your Chelsea perspective, that you would finish the season 15 points or more away from the league leaders. And a lot of Chelsea fans in the summer kind of pushed back against that. People like yourself were looking at your squad and you're looking at Arsenal, and it was this case of it's there or thereabouts, where by the end of this weekend, you could be 8 and 10 points respectively, 7 games in away from that target. Where do you guys go from there? Is it just about looking at the manager utilizing the squad like you say? Is it maybe that do you not think there could be an element of maybe Chelsea fans have overestimated the quality of your squad?
I don't think it's that, bro. You know, right now there's many problems. Like I said, I've looked at Maresca. Right now we've had enough to be playing a lot better than what we have been, just in terms of putting out a balanced lineup. But at the same time, we've got the second most injuries right now, Terry. You know, our players. You're asking me a question, I'm answering it. You know, we haven't even seen. No, I'm saying Staffy. Staffy's looking like that.
Yeah, I didn't. Staffy's not me.
I'm answering the question now. Go on. Yeah, right. Our team right now is deflated. You know, I'm looking at the likes of Caicedo, Enzo, and these guys. Apparently, they've been playing with knocks recently. Again, I'm not putting these losses on injuries, people. Before people say, "Oh, it's injuries." No, there's red cards, there's Maresca, there's many things going on. But I'm just saying, right now, we haven't been able to put out our strongest lineup because there's so many key players in this team that are out. You know, for this game, we've got 8-9 players out. You know, Fofana's out, Palmer's out, Sugo's out, Santos is out. There's a lot of players out right now, Terry. So for me, after the break, we're going to have more players coming back, which ultimately will strengthen the team. We've actually got a good set of fixtures coming up as well. So we can actually start to get a run, especially if we beat Liverpool. We can start to climb up that table quickly, bro. We start to win these games. Now, our first game back is Forest away. Look at Ange right now. You know what I'm saying? Ange is deflated right now. We beat Liverpool. That will give us confidence to go and win that game when we get back. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, it's just trying to get as many people back, of course. Maresca to make better decisions, of course. And just to not make any stupid, mistakes on the pitch. That is what's killing us right now, bro. It's not just one thing. There's multiple things as to why Chelsea haven't been good to start the season.
Yeah, I understand you on that. D King here has said, excuse me, Don, did you just say that you are not putting your team to compete after winning the Club World Cup, spending this much, best midfield and attack in the league?
Bro, I said, play like this right now. We're not going to compete playing like this. No way. No way. We can still compete. I'm not throwing a towel in October, start of October. No way. I'm just saying, playing like this, the way we have been, getting red cards, sloppiness at the back, when we're not going to compete playing like that. We need to go back to how we was playing before.
Yeah. Why does Sanchez always throw the ball to the opponent's feet? Forget about kicking. The guy throws the ball right to their feet. He does it at least every other game.
That's just him, innit? What can I say, though? That's just him, innit?
I haven't seen Donnarumma do that too much yet at City. Just wanted to point that out.
Always throw it to their feet either. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration because I've seen him throw the ball at times. I
don't know about every other game, but I'd say 1 in every 4 games, I feel like Sanchez will either kick the ball to or release the ball too quickly, and you end up having possession turned over very, very quickly. I feel like that's happening 1 in every 4, 1 in every 5 games. He makes that mistake.
Yeah, listen, he needs to calm down at times. But then at times I see him start amazing attacks. He'll just ping the ball to Neto in the space and then we're through. So it's a mix. But people won't talk about that.
No, I think it's not about ignoring that. I think that when you've got a goalkeeper, I think that I think when you're a goalie or you're a centre back, I think those two roles, especially fullbacks, get it to a degree, but not as much. But those two roles, centre backs and goalkeeper, you could be perfect 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. But if every 4, 5, or 6 games you have a clanger that can cost your team, you're just not needed at an elite level club. Because Petr Cech, and again, I'm only using the names of Chelsea legends because that's the level you want to get back to. The Petr Cechs weren't doing that. Courtois weren't doing that. You think about your best centre-backs over the years. Even if you go down to a level, say, of Gary Cahill, you were not getting the same amount of mistakes from a Cahill that you're currently seeing from your centre-backs. And that, for me, is when I judge a football player, it's not just, especially defenders and keepers, it isn't about how good you are when you're playing well. It's how often you have bad games or how often you make mistakes that cost us goals. Maguire, when he's playing well for Man United, is as good as most centre-backs in the league. When he's actually playing well, it looks great. But we always know at some point he's going to step up when he should sit back. He's going to take out one of his own players. He's going to try something he's not quick enough to do. We just know there's always this big clanger waiting to happen. So he could have 10 great games, but you know he's going to make one mistake and then have 3 or 4 in the next few games. And I just feel I think we're falling out.
Yeah, but I think everyone agrees that we need an upgrade on Sanchez. Like, that's not even a debate, you know. But again, right now, it's a waste of time saying that because we can't change anything. It's the window's shut. We can't change anything, bro.
It's a waste of time. But when we spoke about it in the summer, he was getting defended, and there was a lot of I'm happy from a lot of Chelsea fans. It was like, I'm okay with our goalkeeper. It comes up now.
I just think a lot of people. There's a lot of Chelsea fans I would speak to that didn't want Donnarumma. And there's a lot of rivals that I spoke to that don't really rate with Donnarumma. There's many Chelsea fans I spoke to that were like, do you know what? I'll take Maignan over Donnarumma. Many Chelsea fans.
I can get that, but the argument isn't about Donnarumma. The argument is about Sanchez not being good enough. And I think what people are pushing for is an answer like, do you agree that it should be a... Because for me, I think 1st of January, the first thing your board should be doing is going out and buying Mike Mignon, as an example, and replacing Sanchez. You shouldn't have goalies of Sanchez or Jorgensen's level in goal for a club as big and as brilliant as yours.
Yeah, listen, I cooked these lot when they went in for Mania and they dangled the carrot in our face and they decided to walk away because the valuation and that. I was here literally cooking them for that, Terry, you know? But with the Donnarumma stuff, like you already know my thoughts on him anyway, so I'm not going to get into that.
Don, if I may ask, what are your expectations for Chelsea?
Oh, still to
can I change that question a bit? What are your expectations if you don't win this week?
If we don't win this week, bro, I gotta see how the game goes. You know, I've got to see how the game goes, bro. If I actually see a performance, Staffy, right, as much as I won't be happy with the result, I'll look at it a little bit differently, you know. But if I'm seeing us just again, bro, just giving away some stupid goals and someone else gets sent off and stupidity like that, then that's when I'm gonna wild out, bro. You know what I mean? I've got to see how the game goes.
Go on, Staffy.
So here's the thing.
Early in the season, man. Early.
So here's the thing. The reason I'm asking that is because you're coming off, what was it, 4 games in a row without a win, and then you basically beat Benfica because of an own goal. Not impressive performance. But likelihood is you'll lose to Liverpool. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we haven't really touched on Liverpool, but I think we should. Likelihood is I think you will lose to Liverpool. That would be 6 games, only 1 win with an own goal, not even a convincing performance. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I didn't think we'd be sitting here in October talking about, but as long as Chelsea are performing well, maybe we'll add all this context to the result. I'll be honest, bro. No, we most of us looked very silly in the summer, saying, you know what, maybe we were wrong about Chelsea. Chelsea actually are good. We should have given them more respect. I saw people like Hussein making apology videos and shit like that.
But it did look silly though, because you're speaking about what you were watching though. That's my point. The reason why you
silly on our predictions though. I know I agree with you.
The reason why you lot were saying that, the reason why a lot of people were even predicting us to finish above Chelsea, Man City, is because of how we were performing. Right? That's what I'm telling you.
Of course.
If we perform badly and we lose, of course I'll come crash it differently. And if we lose, either way, I'm not happy if we lose the game.
Yeah, no, listen, you'll crash it. That's fine. But where do we go from here?
Hasn't been playing well.
Yeah,
Where do we go from here? That is the question. This is the season. Go ahead.
I'm going to come back to you in a second, Staffy. I think your camera might have just froze. Sorry. I'll expand on that as well. I get your point if you play really well, but you lose to a screamer from Isak and you're like, oh, I'm gutted. There is a difference when you play well. But if you're not playing well this weekend and you lose to Liverpool, who haven't been playing well themselves, I'm going to throw a little curveball in because you just sat there a minute ago and absolutely rinsed Man United, and rightfully so. If we were to beat Sunderland and you don't win, you do know 7 games into the season, you're going to be sitting 2 points behind Manchester United. So for all, and this is to expand on the question.
I expect you to finish
above us. No, because you are a better squad than us. I'm talking about how you feel and look and talk about your club. If there's a team that you are ripping into like Man United, and rightfully so, because you are better than us, if 7 games in, your performances haven't been good enough, and you're not winning games, and you're behind a team like Manchester United, expand upon Staffy's question of where do you go from there?
Bro, it's a top 4 team. I've already said, like, playing like this right now, we're not in no conversations to compete. But the reason why I'm saying we can still compete is because it's only game week 7, right? That's the only reason why. And like I said, we have more players to come back into the team. We will get stronger as the season goes by, in my opinion. You know, the likes of Palmer and these guys coming back, Delap and that. I feel like we'll win more games. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying we've lost these games because of the injury, people. Listen to what I'm saying. Comprehend what I'm saying. I'm saying I think we'll get better performances with the better players in the team. It's as simple as that.
So it is the injuries that are making you not as good then, because they're not there. They're injured. So
yeah, because it's making Maresca make some stupid decisions. He's playing guys like he wouldn't be playing George up top if we had Delap fit. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? He's not using the squad well.
Staffy, is that Don or is that a gal? I can't work it out. I'm laughing because
would you say George up top if Delap was fit, bro?
No, of course not.
This is my point.
Well,
yeah, but again, you were talking about earlier how you have a striker on the bench that he doesn't want to use. So yes, maybe Gio is not as good as Delap, but come on, at least there was a striker out there. We spoke about a multitude of reasons.
And that's why I'm saying to you, Staffy, right? Go back to the fucking streams we did with when Poch was about. I said, bro, even with the injuries that we've still got enough to be playing better and winning more games. That's exactly how I feel with Maresca. I'm with you on that, Staffy. I'm giving you an objective view of what Maresca's been doing, right? If it wasn't for hold on, guys, before you come in again, Terry, yeah. If Delap wasn't injured, we wouldn't be seeing George up top, right? And George shouldn't be up top regardless. I'm just saying why he's playing up there is because we haven't got this guy fit. You know what I'm saying? So when these guys start to come back, I expect us to pick up performances, bro. You know what I mean? He's not managing well at all.
So I don't disagree with you. When your better players come back, you'll be a better team. What I find interesting is, and correct me if I'm wrong, and the audience will remember as well, weren't you one of the people that last year said to Arsenal fans that injuries aren't an excuse?
I said it's a factor, but it wasn't the only metric. That's what I told you. And you literally were sitting there on straight facts saying, Don, you're spot on when you say this. Because a lot of people were defending Arteta saying, oh, it's the injuries and that. I said, bro, you can't ignore the injuries. But let's not ignore the fact that man's playing Marino and Trossard in the 10. Let's not ignore the fact that when you went down to 10 men against Bournemouth, he's taken off Sterling, who was the best attacker. And that's what I'm saying now, right? Yes, there's injuries which have affected our team, but Maresca himself hasn't been making good decisions. That's my point.
Yeah, so what I would say is this, where I agreed with you is I do think the injuries hurt Arsenal last year, but it wasn't the only reason they dropped points. Some games they had players sent off when they shouldn't have done. There was games where they missed big chances. And I always find that it's about balance. You criticize these things. But of course, losing Odegaard, losing Saka, losing their only striker for prolonged periods of time most certainly hurt their season. The same as if that happens to any team, it makes you weaker. I suppose my question would be, on a percentage scale, right now, going 6 games into the season, with your performances not being good enough and too many times you've dropped points, what percentage is on injuries or availability of players?
Hold on, before you even finish, people are going mad saying Sterling. Please go remind yourself of that game against Bournemouth away. Sterling was literally your best attacker that day. He wasn't your best attacker in the squad. He was actually having a good game. And when he came off, I remember bare people complaining, saying, why is Sterling coming off? He played well that game, bro. So again, comprehension, bro. Learn to listen. But go on, Terry, carry on.
Yeah, so what percentage would you put on the manager's decision-making and system, etc., versus players underperforming versus unavailable players? How would you break down that percentage?
I'd say right now, injuries, I would say 30%. And then decision making and the players.
Decision making, manager issues.
I'll say everything else is 70, bro. Injuries injuries is 30% for me. Everything else is 70%, bro.
Yeah, but what would you separate? But you would separate when you say everything else is 70%. You would separate manager mistakes from players underperforming, right? So what would you put down to manager mistakes, and what would you put down to
Yeah, okay. The manager. Okay, look, injuries. I'll say probably 20%. I'll say the players is probably like fucking hell, man. I'll blame the players more than I'll blame Maresca in it.
Okay.
You know, that's why I said 70%, because I'm putting the players and Maresca together. You know, but in that 70%, I'll say the players are probably like 40. Yeah, the players are probably 40, and then Maresca's 30. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, again, that makes kind of sense. I just like to understand it, because I like the balance that you're using there, to be fair, because I often think in these conversations, things are often too sort of polarized, and Arsenal fans will say, "Oh, we'd have got over the line if we just didn't have these injuries." Yeah, but you can't not blame these things, and I think there's merit in those arguments as well.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. And for me, the best managers, they problem solve. You know what I mean? They problem solve, bro. You know, we went into the season. A lot of people, I'm seeing Matisse crashing out right now, talking about the sporting directors. But we went into the season with these sporting directors with this same squad, and he predicted Chelsea to finish second. You know, so we now can't be talking about this squad as if it's fucking trash. You know what I mean? You got to use it better. You know what I'm saying, bro? And at the same time, we can't be getting red cards like this. We just can't, it's not acceptable, bro.
Well, again, one criticism Arsenal got whenever getting their red cards, and I've used the same one with Chelsea because I'm consistent like this, is that's a lack of discipline. Because both your red cards in the league didn't need to happen. You were better off, because you were so much better than Brighton. You were better off letting them score. The same as Man United. You were better off letting us score and then fighting back with 11v11 than getting those. It's like those last man red cards. When Saliba got his, I remember sitting there and thinking, even if Bournemouth go through and score, you've got like 80 minutes, maybe a bit less than, maybe 70 minutes of the game left to get a goal back. You have to criticize the players for that as much as anything else. Giuseppe here, who knows an Arsenal fan, says Don using injuries as an excuse now. Man said, I'm not using it as an excuse, but then continues to use it as an excuse.
See, this is what I'm saying, bro, because I don't even like that word excuse, right? It's a factor, yeah? Whether you like it or not, it's a fact that Chelsea have nearly 10 people out, whether you like it or not. So I'm not going to ignore it. When people are asking me what's been going wrong, I'm saying, yo, that's part of it right now. We're missing a lot of key players, but Maresca's been fucking up. But the players have been getting sent off. But the players have been doing whatever nonsense. If you can't comprehend that, I'm sorry, bro. I can't help you. I can't help you, brother. I'm sorry.
Don, how many points are we getting in the next 10 Premier League games? I think a maximum 9 or 10 is what MNG Blue.
Let's see who we've got next. Obviously, we've got Liverpool at the weekend. Do you want to do prediction now, Terry? We might as well do the prediction now.
Yeah. How do you see this weekend? First of all, how do you see this weekend game against Liverpool going?
Boy, listen, I'm saying 2-1 Chelsea, innit? I'm putting it out there. You know what I mean? I'm going to the game as well. I can't be going to the bridge. We're at home, man. We're at home. So yeah. Listen, I think Lavio will start the game. Like I said, he adds so much balance into the team. Badiashile had a very good game the other day. So I expect a little bit of a better performance in terms of fluidity. So yeah, I'll probably say 2-1 Chelsea. But yeah, Forest away, I think we probably beat them. Sunderland at home, I reckon we beat them. We've got Tottenham away after that. That's not going to be an easy game. But they're not really creating many chances. You know what I'm saying? Then we've got Wolves after that as well. Then Burnley away. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like we can climb up that table, man. We've got some fixtures where obviously it's a Prem. It's never easy, but they're favourable, innit? You know what I mean, Terry? They're favourable, man. Especially if we play how we know we can play, and Palmer and that coming back, we should be winning these games, man. So next 10 Prem games. That's too far to be. Come on, man. 10 Prem games.
I hear you. It's very hard to do that. We haven't touched much on Liverpool, Staffy. Ahead of your prediction, like how do you see it going, and what, when it comes to your prediction, what factor of that is down to Liverpool and their current struggles for you?
So I think both teams have two different struggles right now. I think Liverpool's struggle is a little bit more managerial because I don't look at them and see a lot of injuries. I don't see poor players. I see actually very good players that I think you can start having an argument right now that Slot is not really performing to the level that he should be. I know it's all fun and jokes saying 008, 009, 007, all that stuff for Verts. But when you're being realistic about it, I feel like the team is not really playing up to their potential. I just watched the Galatasaray game the other day, and I couldn't believe how poor the performance was. I'm seeing a whole back line that is averaging more touches than the midfielders and the attackers. I'm seeing Isak come on for 30 minutes and get 4 touches on the ball. 4 touches. How is Isak coming into this team and a manager is coaching a style where your best attacker on the pitch right now, or your best striker on the pitch right now, is getting 4 touches? We can look at Wirtz and say, yeah, we need him to do individually a little bit more, considering how much they paid for him and all that. But realistically, when you look at the play, there's a lack of build-up, there's a lack of creation, there's a lack of footballing in the central areas for them. The ball just goes like sideways, backwise, go from the left back to the right back to the center back to the goalkeeper. Why is against Galatasaray? Why is Van Dijk getting 105 touches on the ball when the highest midfielder on the pitch, actually Wirtz, had 57 touches? That means that Van Dijk almost had double the touches that he had, and that's your 10. I don't think Slot is doing a good job, and I actually don't know. Usually, I do really have like solutions, or in my opinion, what the solution should be. I don't actually know what it is. I feel like Slot is currently struggling to get these players to perform good. He's struggling to get his creators to create chances. Yes, you can argue that Wirtz created a couple chances that they've gotten converted. We're having a different conversation, but I don't think it's good to the level that they're at. I'm seeing Mo Salah not having a good season. You could put that on either decline, or you could say it's the coaching. Wirtz, as we said, Isak. The only person that I can really say is kind of performing to a decent level is Ekitike, and he's someone that actually puts both Isak and Wirtz to shame, because he does come from the German league and he is a striker, so he's outperforming 2 players that have something in common with him. I think they're massively missing Luis Diaz, by the way. I feel like a lot of people don't want to say it. People like Tom Little never really liked him. They always had a lot of negative things to say about him. I think they're desperate for a ball carrier in this team. I think I look at their front line. Gakpo, I think Gakpo's okay, but he doesn't replace what Luis Diaz used to do. I think they're struggling for a ball carrier right now. But I'm looking at Slot massively, and I'm saying, why is your midfield not getting engaged in the game as much? Why are they not creating as much? And why is the ball just being passed around in your back line and saying, oh, we had possession? Well, you had possession, but the ball wasn't with the players that you wanted to touch the ball, right? The ball is with the back line. You're not going to score when Ibu Konate is having 80 touches and Wirtz has 57. So I don't think it's good enough. I'm looking at Slot of these 2 games, and I'm thinking, what is he going to do different? Is he going to have to tweak the system a little bit? Is Wirtz maybe going to have to play down the left and maybe go with 2 attackers, and then Mo Salah plays on the right? I don't know. I actually don't know. But if it wasn't Chelsea in a bad form, I'd probably say they'd win. I'm still going to go for a Liverpool win, because at the end of the day, there's 2 bad performing teams, but there's one team that has more quality, and that's Liverpool. I do trust that Liverpool, when they struggle, at least in the last 10 minutes, they look like Liverpool Klopp, which is basically everyone in the box, just spam the ball. Someone with quality is going to get a goal, and that's fine. That bails you out in games. We've seen it in the first 5 games for them. But how long is that going to last? I don't know, but I'm not really going to give Chelsea a big chance in this game. I understand they're at home and all that, but I think their bad form is actually worse than Liverpool's bad form. So I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. So maybe like a 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, like when you look at our, some of the losses in that Staffy, right? It's self-inflicted, bro. Like it's pathetic.
And what happened again? Yeah,
pathetic goals that we're conceding that you don't even, bro. You see this shit in Sunday League, bruv. You see, if you do that in Sunday League, you're getting subbed off, because you shouldn't even be seeing it at that level. So, boy, and it's a coaching thing as well at the same time. So we cut these things out. Like I said, against Brighton last week, nullified these guys. Yeah, absolutely nullified them. They didn't have a single shot on target. All their pressure came from when we had a man sent off. Right? You can say the Benfica game was dead. I know we didn't create much, but we defended very well. We defended very well in that game, bro. But in attack, you're looking at a brand new attack with Garnacho on the left starting, Tyreek George up top. It's useless. You know what I mean? So in this game, I'm hoping he starts. I think he'll probably start a 3-man midfield, like I said, Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo, and then you probably start Esteval on the right, Neto on the left, João Pedro down the middle. You know what I mean? Something like that. But yeah, we tend to play well against Liverpool, man. That's one thing about us, especially under Maresca.
If he puts this, I think what's his name? Slot. Start Connor Bradley on the right. I think that easily shuts down whatever you got on the left, because it's probably going to be Garnacho again. I don't know how much he trusts Gittins, but I don't like your options on the left. I know you're saying Pedro Neto, but if he puts Connor Bradley on the right, I think he shuts down that. The only thing that you guys might have is the midfield, because I don't think right now this Liverpool midfield is functioning well. They do have the individuals, but they're not functioning well. McAllister looks like he doesn't care about the season. He looks like his head is in the World Cup. I'll be honest. He's looking forward to next summer. The way he's playing football right now it hasn't been that great. Gravenberch has been decent, but other than that, I don't think that's enough. So if you guys somehow control that midfield a little bit more, I think you do have a chance. But I mean, it sounds very basic, but that's really where the game is going to be won and lost, in my opinion. So we'll see, man. I'm still going to stick with my decision with Liverpool, my prediction with Liverpool. I just feel like at the end of the day, if I'm going to put it to moments in the game, I do trust the team with better attackers to eventually get these moments. So you're on mute.
Right, I'm going with Chelsea. So I was massaging my arm. I didn't want you guys to hear the vibrations of the massager. The gym is killing me this week. I'm going with Chelsea winning 2-1. I understand why most people see, a lot of people that I've spoke to see Liverpool as the favourites. Liverpool can win it. If they do win it, I won't be shocked. But it's one of those games, and I probably predict this 5 to 10 times a season. I just see too many people going in the direction of Liverpool. It makes me look the other way at Chelsea. And for the league title race, I also want Chelsea to win as well. So there's an element of I think it will happen. I also want it to happen. So I'm going to put that.
You don't want Chelsea to win. No, why would you say that? Imagine Don on straight facts saying, "I won the league, yeah. I won the league, yeah." You don't want that.
But I'd rather
this could be the kickstart, man. You know what I mean?
Again, so look, as much as Don can be unbearable and Igal can be unbearable, Liverpool winning the league is my biggest fear because they're my biggest rival, followed by City, followed by Arsenal, followed by Chelsea. So if Chris,
did he lag? Is it me?
So Chris.
We'll never know who's Chris. Is it Chris or is it Crystal Palace?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? Man's looking like one South Park character, blood.
He did warn us that electricity has been on and off in his house. So it might be it. It might be it. It might be it.
Man's singing a deep.
KJ is in the background. I got your moving. We'll continue the show.
Serious Chris gospel song, you know.
See, now I'm angry. I want to know who Chris was.
You are holy.
Yo, can someone take a screenshot of him and make it your profile picture or something?
Hey, Pastor Terry, you know, Pastor Terry flew us, bro.
Should we continue the show? What do you think you would have wanted to talk about next?
Bro, listen, we might as well talk about these gooners, man. Yeah, because right now, Staffy. If we beat Liverpool and they go and beat West Ham, yeah, convincingly as well, different conversations are going to be had about them, man, because I can't lie. They look good against Newcastle for me. I thought they
really good.
They look good, man, away from home and that. You know what I'm saying, bro? I thought they actually did well. I watched the game against Olympiacos again. Gyökeres seems to be getting used to playing with them now. They seem to be getting used to playing with him. His link-up play has looked a little bit better, man. He's not getting the goals right now. Cool.
Yeah, I was about to say, is there a word on his scoring record, though? Because he's only bagged in 2 games so far. And I think he's played 8. So it's not a really great record, is it?
He's had opportunities to do better, man. Like, he's had a couple of chances through on goal, and man's taking long to shoot. And I'm like, yo, bro, 1-2 touch, bang. You know what I mean? You've got a bang on you, right? But, yeah, man, right now, listen, their team, they've got a few injuries and that, but they're covered in pretty much every area. You know, you haven't got Madueke, you've got Dauman there, sorry. You know, you haven't got Saliba, you've got Maresca there.
Bro. You got really got options. What was the guy cooking when he said they have the best squad? Because I'm not going to lie, bro. I expected the 11 that Liverpool put out to have better quality, but bringing players off the bench, bro, I'm going to be honest, bro. Bringing Marino off the bench, I knew that was cash money last game. I was like, you know what? This guy's going to score a header and people are going to look stupid because they're like, why are you bringing Marino on? And exactly that happened. As you said, what's his name out? Madueke is out. Saka's back, but then you got Dauman coming out. You have Eze that you can use down the middle. You can use him on the left. You have Martinelli who can play on either side. Sometimes you use him down the middle. There's options, bro. Eventually, when Havertz comes back, I'll be honest, bro. People don't like Havertz. I think they need Havertz. There's games where I think like Gyökeres is pretty much frozen at the game right now. It's not his style. It's this low block. He's not really a box striker. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of space to run into. I feel like you need a Havertz in this game. So when he comes back, I think he's going to add more. I'm looking at this team, bro. I'm like, you know what? Did I underestimate? Because I was a big fan of the Eze signing, but I'm looking at the rest and I'm like, that Newcastle game might have changed me, bro. Because I never thought Arteta's finally going to listen to what we were saying And like, you know what, bro? We need less of Marino, more of Eze. And when he did it, bro, they looked good. And it made me think, what would have happened if Eze started versus City? Because you could have been talking about back-to-back games where Arteta had two good coaching displays. He would have coached that City game better if he would have played Eze. And obviously he had the Newcastle game. And I'll be honest, bro, if you're coming off 6 points against City and Newcastle, we're having a completely different conversation right now, especially with the form Liverpool in. And I know they're playing West Ham, bro. Shout out Lawless. I think they're going to get spanked, bro. I genuinely do think they're going to get spanked.
I can't lie, bro. It depends how they set up, man. Because, boy, they actually look good.
Now, by the way, so.
Yeah, they looked good against Everton. They've completely changed their midfield. Like there's this guy called Potts from their academy. Yeah, he's good. He progresses the ball quite well. They've also got that guy, the other guy that they got. I forgot his name now. People will remind me in the chat. The other midfielder they started, West Ham. Yeah, people will know.
I know you're talking about. They signed him late in the season. Mateus something.
Is it Mangasa?
Mateus Fernandes.
Now I'm talking about the other one, Mangasa or something. I think his name is Mangasa.
Oh, okay.
Someone will let me know in the chat. And then you've got that Fernandes guy in that as well. It won't be an easy game. It won't be easy. But yeah, man, listen, right now, because of the options that they've got, yeah, exactly. Luke, big up Luke, man. This is Magassa. He actually did all right against Everton as well. Because of the options that they've got, it's making players like Odegaard have to improve. You know, I looked at Odegaard's performance the other day in the Champions League, bro. He looks good, man. Because he's looking over his shoulder now. It's not Ethan who Arteta ain't gonna trust like that. It's Eze. Yeah. You're looking at Martinelli. He knows, bro. Yo, listen. When I'm playing now, I need to make sure that I'm doing my thing because Eze could be playing in that position. Trossard right now seems to have switched on. You know, so the options that they've got is actually helping their team play a lot better. And that's why I'm saying for me, Staffy, I can't wait to get our squad fit because when you've got a fully stacked squad, it just improves the competition in the team. You can't be lazing about. You know what I mean? Right now, if you look at João Pedro can do whatever, and it's Tyreek behind him because Guillaume ain't getting played. There's no real competition. Whereas when Delap comes back, he knows he's got to be on it a lot more. I know he started off well, but naturally you still want to perform, right? When you're starting games. So yeah, man. Right now I can't lie. Arsenal, bro, they're looking good, innit? They're looking good. And this will be a good opportunity for them to go and push for the league, man. Because Liverpool, like I said, they've got problems. They've got a very good attack for me still, but they've got many problems at the back. It seems like Trent seems to be a massive miss. I keep saying it, bro. Frimpong. I play with Benny Frimpong 7-a-side, bro, every week. Power League goals, I find bare Frimpongs. It looks like they just found him at Power League, bro.
I feel like the more you watch Frimpong, you understand why he didn't go for crazy money this summer. Because I remember a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, he's such a bargain! He's such a bargain." I'm like, bro, is he really? Like, he's like, what's so special about him? The fact that Connor Bradley is looking at like a much more competent right back than him, it just says a lot. And even when they played him a right wing and the bench Salah didn't look that great. But let me channel my inner Terry here since he's not here. So we gotta keep this a little bit as unbiased as possible. If they win, and let's just say potentially you take points off Liverpool, and they win, which I think is inevitable. They go top of the league. What are we saying right now? Oh, there he is. What are we saying right now? We're talking about your team, Terry. So it's a good time for you to join.
It's a bit.
Talking about Arsenal. So I want to finish my last point. I think Chelsea are going to win it. Sorry, so the audience, they've got roadworks going down the road, so they keep cutting off the power here.
We said that, yeah. We told them. We said they warned us that there's been electricity cuts. So
the worst part about
maybe in the professional that I am, me and Don, we carried on the show very well. Don't worry about
that. What I will say, this is how bad it is where I live. I'm so out in the boonies. Ignore that bit. So out in the boonies that there's no phone signal here. So when the Wi-Fi goes, I was in the group. I try to message you guys. I can't even message. It's shit. I am decided in that moment I'm moving out. So I'm going to move somewhere where there's fucking phone signal. What it is, all the old people that live around there, there's a mast down the road. So you should get full 5G. But the old people protested and they won't fucking turn it on. It's like, no, we need fucking phone signal. Anyway, what we saying about Arsenal? Talk to me because I don't know what the context is.
No, we're just saying that they look good right now. You know, their squad is actually making players turn up. You know, because they're looking over their shoulder and there's someone right there that can play, that can be starting. For example, Odegaard, Terry, the other day in the Champions League. I also said Gyökeres has looked better in the past 2 games in terms of his link-up play. I think he can let off shots quicker, right? But he looks like he's getting used to playing with them right now. And yet they're just looking more balanced than Liverpool right now. They're looking like they've got less problems, bro. They're looking good. I'll be honest. They're looking good, man.
Look, with Arsenal, I thought forget what rivals said, because I kind of expect rivals to go in and create pressure. The media, we know how crap they are. So I've got a brand new series that's trending every day called Killing the Game, because pundits they're killing the football conversation, because they're taking the banter economy, which is fun from fans, and they're turning it into real talking points. It's horrendous. The RAF story this week is a great example. Sky run 3 different segments on it that got millions of views, where not one journalist nor one pundit, all ex-pro footballers, read the article that explained it was 2 years ago that it was done, right? And it was all about communication skills and that stuff. All that sort of bullshit, put it aside. I thought Arsenal fans that were throwing the towel in after a couple of games, if they go and win the league, I hope Arsenal ban them from attending the parade. Because I almost feel like some fans just lost their minds so early, it was embarrassing. Concerns, yes. Worry, yes. But losing their minds and throwing in the towel, I just thought was horrendous. When you look
but some fans are right. Some fans are right. And this is the one thing I hate sometimes about football fans. Arsenal fans who criticize the way Arteta set up in certain games this season were not wrong in the Newcastle game. It's the ones that kept saying, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong. And then Arteta actually tweaks it, and they look better, and they're like, see, I told you there's nothing wrong with Arteta. No, you just followed whatever Arteta does anyways. The people who wanted certain tweaks being done, people wanted Eze as an example in the midfield. If they said, I'm not happy with Arteta because he's not playing Eze, and then Eze plays, and they actually play right, it doesn't mean that they were wrong. If anything, they were right. They didn't just back Arteta blindly like other fans do, just so when he gets it right, they're like, see, I told you I shouldn't worry about Arteta. It was only 6 games in. You never said anything, did you?
But there's a balance in this. So those two the people that just critiqued it were right, and I'm not talking about them. And again, I don't think people that have got a working and active brain, that you like this word, the amoebas. I'm talking about the ones who threw the towel in, knew he should be sacked. We ain't doing nothing this year. This is horrendous. We haven't improved. Those dickheads. Equally, you're right. Those other toxic bellends who are like, there's nothing wrong. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. They're as bad as each other. They're both bells. They shouldn't be listened to. I know they're allowed to have their opinion. I would never try and take their opinion away from them, but they're idiots, and we should not be engaging with them. The balance was always in the middle. And I heard some gooners say, I'm not going to panic, but I know the change needs to come, and I think we'll adapt. They're the ones that were right. The ones who critiqued it and said, if this continues, then I'm going to start to get worried. They were right. But I think that's 80% of Arsenal fans are in that space. And I completely agree with you. So outside of those extremities and then the media that jumps on that like a bitch in heat, I couldn't understand why so many people were writing Arsenal off. It had to be given a few games. What you said about Gyökeres is spot on. The handbrake term's been used a little bit. It seems to be off. I'm really intrigued about this game against West Ham. Really, really, really intrigued, because they've lost this game 2 years ago.
Different West Ham as well, bro. I watched them against Everton, Terry, that second half, broski. They were looking good, man. Well, I keep telling you, that's what I was saying. West Ham are not a bad team. They're not a bad team. It's Potter that was still playing guys like Ward-Prowse and Souček. They played Mangasa and for example, Potts today. Their midfield looks really different, bro.
Nuno is going to play to West Ham's strength. They're a pragmatic club. They've got a pragmatic squad. And Nuno is I think Nuno is a fantastic manager. I am biased because I know him personally, or I've met him on a good few occasions. I wouldn't say we're friends, but I know him, so I've got a little bias there. It'll be a different team. But this is one of those games where us on the outside will say, Arsenal home, West Ham, Arsenal win. For these Arsenal players, there is a psychological element to this game. It was the West Ham draw a few years ago, although it was away from home, that partly cost them that title race. Got beat 2 years on the bounce against them at home. There is always a slight amount of psychological damage for an athlete in those moments. It could be a certain stadium that you return to. It could be a certain team you play. I think, United are damaged a lot at the moment. But when we play Spurs this season, I think that's going to be in our minds. When we go away to Brighton, away to Brentford, there are certain teams that I can see it just impacts us more than others. West Ham has been one for Arsenal. If they're able to play close to their optimum best, take their chances and win well, I think it will send another message, and I think you'll see their confidence levels go up again. I think they're going to end this weekend top of the league as well. I think they're going to end it top of the league, and they are.
What if they lose or they draw? Let's have that conversation, because we've done a lot of. People think I do what I do is just crash Arsenal and that. I've told you a lot, bro. If you lot play better, I will speak about it. And right now, you might not chugging along well. You know what I mean?
But let me just.
You don't win the game. Don't win the game when we've got points. You know what I'm saying?
So your statement is Arsenal fans think all they ever do is crash on their team. I've praised them for a few minutes, but my next thing is, what if it goes wrong?
because I haven't seen anyone.
He wants to talk about both scenarios.
I haven't seen anyone say much in the chat. But then the moment I say, "Oh, this guy didn't have a good game," it's you hate us. You hate us. You hate us. You know what I mean?
What will happen? What will happen? You'll get those fringes that will come out again. The knobhead crew. By the way, those groups think they're different. They're both the same people, just with different opinions. It's hilarious. You see it in politics, don't you? The fringes, the extremists on both sides. They both think they're so different from each other, but they're both scumbags that no one really likes. It's just, I always find it quite funny to be a normal person watching them going, you both think you're perfect, but you're both knobs. But they'll come out and they'll be in full force. You know, no blame from one group. Sack him tomorrow if it happens. But I think what will happen is rightful criticism. Let's say they attack well, don't score, concede a late goal on the counter. There'll be rightful criticism for a lack of clinical edge. What will be interesting is if they start aggressively with attacking players on the pitch and they make attacking substitutions, because then you'll look at it. If they've got all the ball, they have the chances, started with an attacking team, made attacking substitutions. For me, it makes it very hard to blame Arteta because the players then will have let him down, if that makes sense. If he goes into this game and it's very conservative, very strong midfield, Eze's on the bench, doesn't bring him on till the 80th minute. Let's say Martinelli's stinking it up and stays on the whole game. Gyökeres is having a stinker and he stays on the whole game. Then I think you can look at Arteta. So you have to put the context into that. But I think it'll be hugely disappointing for Arsenal. And I think they'll feel that just as momentum was building, it will have stopped. But just like Liverpool's bad form right now, if this does happen to Arsenal, it doesn't change my mind. They're still in the title. I don't think it changes too much. I still think they're going to be in the title race. I still think they've got a good chance of winning it. But it will be a big dent in their momentum. Because I wouldn't say it's a dent in the title race at this stage. It's too early. They're so close to Liverpool. If Liverpool win, though, and they lose, and that gap that they pull the little gap back last week and it stretches out, that will be a dent. It will be a real dent to them. How about yourself? What do you think will happen if they lose?
Me, boy. Listen, it'll be a shame. It'll be a shame, man, because you wanna one thing about teams like a West Ham, yeah, because they seem to be like a bogey team for Arsenal, innit? You want to change that narrative. You know what I'm saying? You want to start to change that narrative because mentally, like what you're saying, Terry, it'll help the team to think, do you know what? All these teams that we drop points against at home or away, we're beating them this time around. You know, because we've got Eze, because we've got Gyökeres, and we've got better players now. We're playing better. We've got, even more depth at the back, right? So yeah, man, they have to win. They have to win the game, especially after after last weekend. And again, if we beat Liverpool, Arsenal tend to be they're known to be that team where if Liverpool drop points, like last season, every time Liverpool drop points, they drop points. They need to change that this season. They need to change it this time around, bro.
I hear you. It'll be an interesting one. I mean, it's a hard question because it depends on how I suppose. AMT here says it's okay to say if drop points, but you're saying with a smug smile, maybe wishful thinking. Oh.
I'm a come on, you know me. I'm shameless.
It's wishful. What's the real respect?
You know what I find funny? I still don't get it.
I'll be messaging my boys, bro. I told you, bro. I tell you all the time. I've got a lot of friends that are West Ham fans, yeah. And I've been telling them, bro, it's time to be singing together now, kumbaya, and hold hands together because you're gonna be beating these man this weekend. And I can't lie.
You know what I find funny?
Hold on, Staffy. They're silently confident, Silently, they're like, you know what? The past few times we've been to the Emirates, we've left with satin. Potter left with satin. So I'm sure Nuno.
I heard that yesterday.
Yeah.
I heard that yesterday, but I was going to say, I just find it funny how we still sit on these shows. As much as we try to give objective opinions, unbiased opinions, but people still know which teams we support. It's like the outrage sometimes, like, oh, fuck you. You want Liverpool to lose every week anyways. No shit. No, really. Oh, did you just discover this? Oh, no. So just because you think I sat here and I think Liverpool's a good team, I won't want them to lose? Like, what kind of logic is that? Yeah. Of course, you're going to watch every team bar mine and say, I want them to lose. Just me acknowledging a team is good enough. I know Arsenal are good. I gave them so much praise after the Newcastle game. You think I didn't want Arsenal to lose that day? Hell yeah, I wanted them to lose. I hope they lose. I hope every team that's not mine loses. It's not even doable, but I hope it does. Why does it still come as a surprise? Like, who do you think we are? People don't even do that on Sky Sports and what's the other one? The Talk Sports. They don't even do that no more. Everyone's so fucking biased on mainstream media. What, you think we're gonna say on YouTube and we're gonna say, oh, I really, really hope Liverpool get awarded for how good their summer was and go win League 21? Fuck no. Of course I don't want them to win. I know they will. I want them to win. Why is that a surprise?
They keep asking me for help. Stop fucking asking me for help. I'm trying to help myself, right? You need to help yourself. You need to win your game. Yeah, they keep begging me this week. Giuseppe's all at me now. Giuseppe, bro, now you put that in the air, you're gonna drop points. Yeah, you keep at me, or you're using injuries as an excuse in that. You need my help, buddy. So please be nice. Yeah, be nice, my friend.
Arsenal is not losing to West Ham tomorrow, is what Piqué says here. I hope you're right, because I need you to stop Liverpool, man, because my club can't.
They play first as well, 3 o'clock, innit?
We play at the same time, yeah.
Man United and Arsenal, which is nice, because that means whatever happens in our game, it's probably more people's focus will be on the Arsenal game, which would be really nice, really nice.
It's gonna be people. I'm gonna have to watch the game in my car, yeah, because there's no, Fulham Broadway is shut tomorrow. It's shut, bro. So I probably have to drive to the game, man.
Yeah, rubbish. People said at the start of the season we could get a max. We could get maximum points, but only 8 points in 18 games. We will struggle in a lot of these easy games. It's a fair point. A lot of people did think.
Listen, Arsenal have a favourable set of fixtures coming up, right? And that's going to be interesting to see, because you've got the squad to go and win these games. So let's see if Arteta's learned. Let's see if these players are going to actually step up. I'm actually quite intrigued to see how Arsenal get on the next few games, because we've got favourable fixtures as well.
That makes a lot of sense, mate. I think it's going to be interesting next few weeks. Unpopular opinion: Palmer will be sold next summer because of the PSR, and all those bad signings will force us to sell him.
No chance. If you wanna buy Palmer, 150 million to even have a conversation, for me to even answer the phone.
I get that. Well, this is a Chelsea fan talking. I don't know if that will happen. I don't think it will happen, but the FFP, forget PSR, it's the FFP standards that UEFA have set Chelsea, where Chelsea have to break. I think you could have no more than like 5 million losses at the end of next season. And the season after that, Chelsea have to make at least break even. And UEFA won't recognise the sale of any assets. So you could sell your youth team to yourself for £1 billion. They don't care. And obviously by then, the Champions League money is going to help. But if you look at the actual losses over the past 4 or 5 years, if you minus out the selling of hotels and the women's team, etc., you're nowhere near that. So if Chelsea do have a bad year, and I think if you get into the Champions League this year and next year, get a shirt sponsor, I think you're fine. I feel that if you were to have a bad season and miss out and then not recover, if you have a couple of years of not being in the Champions League, there could be a point where you have to sell a big player or two. But it's one of those things to this super chat that's so far off, and a lot of bad things would have to happen for that to be in place. So I wouldn't hold your breath. Well, I wouldn't as a rival. When it comes to Liverpool performances this season, the Chelsea manager has given the best evaluation of this. Gakpo, Salah, Kone clearly affected. Do you think they are affected, Liverpool, this season by... Obviously, Maresca's pulled on this, and a lot of Liverpool fans have spoken about the impact of the passing of Jota. Do you think that's stopping the players from performing on the day?
I don't want to be insensitive, because it's a massive thing, isn't it? Like, you're going into training every day and you're seeing your teammate there, and all of a sudden he's not there. So there's going to be a factor that's going to play a part, Terry. But when you go out there and play, bro, you have to be professional at the same time. And I'm not really seeing Liverpool being professional this season, bro. I think it's a deeper issue than just them losing Jota. It's unfortunate, of course, 100%. Like, it's a shame, but you got to talk about what you're watching on that pitch, man. And Trent, again, big miss. Staffy made a good point about Diaz as well. Gakpo is someone who's very predictable at the minute. A lot of Liverpool fans that I've spoken to, they don't really want him in the 11. If anything, they want a Kitike on the left, Isak up top. Wirtz has kind of ruined that balance in the team. So there's many things tactically right now that are going on. I mean, Jota's always going to affect these guys, even next season and the season after that. It always affect them. But for now, you can just see what's going on the pitch, man. And it's not good. Slot seems to be rattled. Every time I'm looking at these press conferences these days, man's just rattled, bro. You know what I mean? He's speaking about, what did he say if we had the same ref that we had against Palace against Galatasaray will win the game or something like that. He's moving like
yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like people are using it too much as a don't want to say as an excuse, but something to hang the bad performances on. I'll be honest, bro. I keep saying this. Just people sometimes find everything that's intangible to talk about outside of just losing their eyes and looking at the pitch. Liverpool just have not been good all season. It's mainly tactics. I saw so many last minute winners. If anything, it shows me that this team actually still has a very strong mentality. But what is mentality? The tactics are not being applied correctly on the pitch. I've never once questioned the mentality of these players thinking they have a weak mentality or they're very emotional because they lost a teammate over the summer. Like, can we just leave them alone? Like, khalas, like, rest in peace, Jota. Let's not keep using this as an excuse throughout the whole season, please. Just look at the performances, talk about the coaching, and say, you know what? Maybe let's just, instead of blaming Jota, let's just talk about the fact that our midfield is just not going to go on the ball enough and they're not being creative. Maybe that's an easier way to look at the game than to just keep blaming him. As Don said, we're not trying to be insensitive about it, but like, please, let's not see. I feel like it's an excuse every time people are running out of things to say. They just go to it. Like,
it's even shameless to bring that up. It's so shameless because it's like, people can't really. Like, again, I'm having to think extra hard how I can articulate it because it's such a sensitive topic.
Because you don't want to offend people, but like, stop bringing it up.
So please, just don't bring it up, man. Don't bring it up. Like, yes, we know that they're gonna be sad in that, but broski, like, you got to look at the tactics of the game, and it's not been good enough. You know what I mean? Because if it was the other way around and Scott was fixing up tactically, and Liverpool looked even better, it will be the spirit of whatnot and Jota. That maybe that's motivated them to be, they'll spin it like that. However way you can spin it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, look, I think, it maybe is affecting a few of the players. Maybe there are a few of the players that are just struggling with life right now after the loss of a friend, and that's fair. But there are other players, like I think Alisson's I know he got injured, but he's had a fantastic season. Szoboszlai, I think, individually been playing really, really well. So it's not impacting everybody. And I think some people are using the tragedy of Jota, not all, some are using it as a shield to go, well, don't have a go at us because this happened. And I think that is disingenuous. The way I've seen a few idiots online use it that way as an example. But I think it's possible that some of the players are. My message would be this: if you've got a player, say it is Salah, say Salah is just honestly very down at the moment, not feeling great, missing his friend, and it's really hurting him, maybe some time on the sidelines is needed, because if it's impacting the team and it's impacting him, and I think that's where Liverpool fans, their club, need to have honest conversations. If somebody's at work and their work is suffering and they're going through a lot of pain and suffering at the moment, sometimes the best thing they can do is take time away. And that's me being as compassionate as I can be in this circumstance. So of course it may have affected some players. It won't affect others in the same way. Some people in tragedy throw themselves into their work, can sometimes make them better and more focused, and it's how they cope and grieve. So it's such a multi-layered subject because not everybody does things the same way. It's such a hard thing to delve into. It really, really is. But of course, a massive tragedy. It's funny how the tables have turned, and seeing Don Waffle just made my day. Whose excuses I've seen now is on Liverpool.
It would only work if you can send me receipts, Libra Green. Big up yourself for the donation as well. It would only work if you can find somewhere where I said Arsenal can't speak about their injuries at all and it didn't affect their season. If you can find me that, I will transfer you a bag right now into your account, bro. Send me that and I'll send it to you right now.
Don, what makes you think players will hit the ground running when they return from injury, especially the ones coming back from a long injury?
Very good point, because I said he's setting up himself now. They don't hit the ground running. It looks like excuses. Very
good point, but I'm just saying that, we're yet to even see our strongest lineup this season. I'm just saying that, there's players that are out right now who help us play better, right? And if we play better, for me, I see us winning more games.
What's your strongest lineup for the sake of it? Because I don't think I know your strongest lineup.
I would say, listen, Joe, it depends who you're playing, Staffy. That's what I'm saying. If we've got everyone fit right now.
You just said we haven't seen the strongest lineup this season.
Delap could play up top with João Pedro down the middle, Palmer on the right, with Gusto overlapping, Neto on the left, or even Estevao off the left. If you want to start João Pedro up top, you can play Palmer in the 10, Enzo and Caicedo. You can play Caicedo and Santos. You can play Caicedo and Lavia, Estevao on the right. What's his name? Neto on the left. And then right now, obviously, Cole was not fit. So I'd say our strongest back line is Cucurella, Badiashile. I'll probably say Badiashile and maybe Fofana. and then Reece at right back. But
So,
again,
you know what you just proved right now? You don't know your strongest 11. Yeah, you're waiting to see your strongest 11. That's what you just did.
No, what I'm saying is
me scenarios
when
of good 11s.
we've got our guys fit, depending on who we're playing, we pick different lineups. Like Chelsea, we're not a predictable team, Staffy. We're not a predictable team. I'm just saying that the players that are out isn't really allowing us to have a lot of tactical flexibility. That's the point that I'm making.
Okay.
This here says, look at the team we had last time out versus West Ham. Big difference this time round. Listen, I agree. I do agree with you. VIP Studios. PK says the same thing as well. Happened for the last 2 years, but not tomorrow. I do agree. Your team is much stronger this season. The issue is Chelsea prioritized Gittins and Garnacho over Simons and a top centre back and goalkeeper. With the injuries, they aren't as deep as they are, though.
Oh, listen.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with TJ. Like, if you're watching Spurs, now the conversations are you're not getting the best out of Simons on the left anyways. So I'll be honest with that it's kind of irrelevant right now.
Bro, listen, we needed left wingers. It shouldn't have been Garnacho and Gittins. We needed left wingers, bro. We had Sancho left. Mudryk is gone. Yeah. Who else is there on the left? We had no left wingers. We had to bring in left wingers. The issue is who we brought in.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Don, but that being said, he's the only one of the bomb squad that ain't doing. There's not, Rashford's playing all right. Rasmus is scoring goals. Go on, Rasmus.
You talking about Garnacho?
Don't even get me started, bro. That shit gets me so angry, bro. It gets me so angry.
No 007.
He got you so angry. You forgot the meaning of words the other day. It was crazy. It was crazy.
No, it didn't. You know what it is? Because people wait for a United player to score a goal to finally speak. It is so fucking jarring. I saw someone post the pass from KDB. He was like, he's never gotten that pass at United. I'm like, are you joking me? Bruno Fernandes had the most chances created in the league last season. You're telling me Haaland's issue was not having any chances when he's averaging 1.6 shots a game? Xerxes, who doesn't shoot, had more shots than him per game. Come on, man. The narratives are so annoying. And they always stay quiet in all the games. He's like, he doesn't score. They say, shh. And then he pops up with a goal. Yep, I told you United with the issue. Same thing with Rashford, same thing with everyone else. Look, the same thing is going to happen with Garnacho. So far, not a single person said anything about Garnacho. Wait until he scores the first goal. See, United were the problem. I can't wait for it. Hypocrisy.
I think there is a balance on those things, like you say. Like my stance on Rasmus has stayed the same. I don't think in his first year we created enough goal scoring opportunities for him, and he had his faults. I think in his second year he regressed in nearly every single department: hold up play, runs, movement, and I felt his confidence was so screwed he had to go. So my mind hasn't changed. I'm not sitting there and saying we should have kept him, man. Should have kept him. I saw a prominent Man United fan say that we should have not signed Šeško and signed a central midfielder because we didn't need a striker because we had Rasmus. And although I can see the merit of improving the midfield, it's not revisionism, I suppose, from him, because he said it at the time and he's saying it again now. I have watched, I think, 3 of Rasmus's games, 2 in the Champions League and 1 in Serie A. And he does look a little sharper, a little more confident, but I know he would. I don't think he'd be doing that at Man United. The level isn't as high in Serie A as
we all knew he would do that in Serie A anyways. I was begging for him. I wanted him to go on loan. I said, don't sell him. I said, please send him on loan, because one of the 2 things are going to happen. He's either going to flop, or I'm going to be like, yep, we've seen him flop in 2 different leagues, sell him, or he's going to do well, which I thought he would, get the development, and now he either comes back for us next summer, and he's a better striker, or we get the sell-on clause anyways, or the sell option triggered by Napoli anyways. It's a win-win situation. People don't want to use their brain, bro. They just want to look at us and blame us for everything. Everyone who does well, just blame United. Everyone who flops, yep, United ruined them. It's a loss-loss situation, bro. Idiots. It is what it is.
Yeah, I did a whole video on it yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, United are over. It's even why I say to people, don't just go, we're getting a new manager. Like, people go, are you excited about the prospect of a new manager? I'm like, no, I'm not. It's why the manager out conversation. I get it, but I'm
starving for good football.
I hear you. I'm starving for it, but I'm not excited about a new guy, because what I don't want, I don't want it short-lived either. You know, that element of, oh, you see that there? Would you like that, wouldn't you? You'd like that, but you can't have it. That's how I'm going to feel. Like, I'm not, it's not that I think Xavi or Areola or Grasner, the 3 main guys, were linked to, bad managers. It isn't that I don't look at it and go, oh, I'd love them to get us playing the way their teams have got. I just don't have any faith that we will do it and maintain it and continue to get better. So there's this element of, I find it very, you've ever got a mate who always like, oh, I can't wait for, Joe's coming out the weekend, but you know he's going to flop. So you start off a little excited, but you're like, I know he's going to bail. So therefore, because he's done it so many times, I can't get excited. And whether it's the dud manager, whether it's the players, the club, the owners, combination, which is what it is, I'm just not excited about the prospect of a new manager. Not because I want Amorim to stay or I'm revising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I just don't have any faith right now. And maybe it will come back, and I pray that it does. We've got to remember this. When Ten Hag came in, I know his first 2 games were shit. Do you know in his first 50 games, he had a 70% win ratio? We won 7... Ten Hag in the first 50 games.
I remember.
His
first year was very good.
And it took one defeat to Liverpool, and it was 7-0, and it went all the way down. We've never really recovered from that point.
But to be fair, our performances towards the end, they were not matching a lot of the wins. It was more of a Rashford carry job, let's be honest. And to be fair, there's a lot of United fans that were calling it out. Was that?
No, or a McTominay box crush, he'd come in.
No, but it was mainly right because he had 30 goals. That's why I was highlighting him.
That was his first season. It was his second season where it was a lot of bad performances, but wins kept us higher in the league. And
I thought you were talking about the first season because the Liverpool loss happened in the first
run.
season.
No, if you actually go back and watch those games, I actually did it the other night. I was up having a few drinks and I went back to that season and started watching games back. After that first, the way we were better than Arsenal. We were better than Liverpool. After those first 2 defeats, we won some really good runs. Some games that were close that we won. Then Rashford came back after the World Cup, and the team were really good. It wasn't just Rashford scoring. We were really good. We won that cup final, and it wasn't really the Liverpool game. After we won that cup final, everything just changed. And I still go back. I remember that feeling. I remember leaving my studio after that cup final thinking, if we can just keep improving and have a good summer, we might be on the right track here. I can't believe that was 3.5 years ago. And I've never, I know we won the FA Cup in that time, but that's why I think I feel so deflated now, because it has been a continual regression and crap for 2.5 years with one moment of brilliance. This is how bad we've been. Even when we won the FA Cup semi-final against Coventry, we all felt like shit. We didn't even feel good winning that game. Anyway, this here says, my super chat pissed Don off and Staffy off. I can't be salty.
It's not even you, AMT. I'm just saying it's a weekly thing. People get surprised that I don't want Liverpool to win. Why is that a surprise? Why are you shocked that I don't want Liverpool to win?
All right, bro.
So, I've got a cut, yeah, Mandem.
All right, mate. All right, mate. No worries. Yeah? Cheers, bro.
We got the chat, man. Bless.
Cheers, bro. We're at the end now anyway. This is the Guiu situation is messed up. Brought back from loan just to warm the bench. I'm telling you, the sporting directors are making decisions. The Maresca on who plays.
This one is a good example. I agree. There was no reason to bring him back if you're not going to play him. So I agree.
Those kind of decisions can hurt. I remember. I don't remember who our manager was. It might have even been Ole, and we weren't playing very well, and then his stories came out about how the club players weren't very happy with the manager in the club because we'd promised a couple of players, but the one that I remember vividly was Sergio Romero, very good goalie. I wish he was that goalie now. Promised that they'd find him a new club, and they didn't do it. And he was like, "Well, your third choice," and he was kind of stuck at the club, and that pissed his friends off and teammates off.
Yeah,
it's never a good thing to do. You bring someone back from loan, so they're not playing, and then you're not playing them. There's this element of his teammates and friends in that dressing room will look at that and say, that's a disgrace. And you don't want people feeling like that towards ownership, management, whatever it may be, because it creates a disharmony. And, we've seen it at our club many a time. Look, I want to thank every single person who's tuned in, whether you're watching here on YouTube, whether you're watching over on X. If you're watching on X, come join us. Come subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking on that link you can see right now. We go live every Friday at 3:30 for this episode of Straight Facts. Always a pleasure, by the way, to sit here and talk with yourself, Staffy and Don. And we didn't fight this week, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood. Listen, Yankees whooped Boston's ass last night. So fuck Boston once again. That's 2 New York teams busting up 2 Boston teams over the last 5 months. And we'll see it again when the NBA kicks off. So, yeah, fuck that city. Big up
big up everyone who's tuned in. A massive thank you to each and every single one of you. I'm back. I think tonight I am, if my electric holds up. I'm live streaming tonight my second episode of my FC26 career mode on Terry Flewis TV. So go and subscribe to that channel by scanning that QR code. So I played a couple of games not live because if I just don't play for a week, I'm never going to get better. So I think I'm currently sitting. I won my first 2 games, and then I got beat by Man City, and it made me cry. 3-3. Matoma goes through on goal in the last minute, shoots at the post from the deflection from the post. They counter, and Dorgu goes down the other end and scores. They beat me 4-3. Then I rushed into the Chelsea game. I was still angry, and I got beat 3-0, but they're really good on the game, Chelsea. I've got Liverpool next in the League Cup, so that's going to be the game that we go live with tonight. So,
so
but
you're 6 points out of 12.
Yeah. So
all right, that's still better than Amorim. You're good.
We'll see. We will see. Viewers, actually, no. I think I have 7 points. I've won 2 games and a drawn 1. I have 7 points out of 5. I played 5 games, 5 league games. So we're live tonight.
That's better than 25%. That's all that matters.
What do you mean by
Terry
cheat?
in, Amorim out.
I'm not a cheat because you'll see the results. I'm playing on the same level, but I can't not play for a week and then I'll lose myself. So yeah, we'll see tonight. Take care, everybody. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all again soon. Peace.